What does it truly mean to gain power over any woman? Is it about manipulation, fleeting control, or the empty pursuit of approval? The real secret lies in mastering yourself, your silence, your values, your purpose. In a world obsessed with tactics and techniques, the greatest strength is found within your character, your presence, your ability to remain calm and unshakable when others lose themselves to emotion. This video unveils a different path, not about conquering her, but about conquering yourself so thoroughly that women and everyone around you instinctively respect and desire your energy. We'll journey through 6 profound principles rooted in timeless wisdom, teaching you how to build silent confidence, set unbreakable boundaries, and attract the right people naturally. If you're ready to stop chasing and start leading with authenticity, depth, and real power, this is your moment. Step forward and claim it. 1. When you need her, you've already lost her. In the quiet corridors of every human relationship, a silent truth waits to be discovered. When your sense of worth depends upon someone else's approval, especially in love, you surrender the power to shape your own destiny. In matters of the heart, true strength is found not in need, but in self-knowledge and unwavering dignity. When you need her, you've already lost her. These words are not just a warning, they are an invitation to recognize a universal law that governs not only romance, but every significant connection in our lives. Consider the man who bends himself into countless shapes to win affection, to please, or to be noticed. He checks his phone with anxious hope, his spirit tethered to each reply or silent pause. In these moments, he becomes less a partner and more a shadow, his value defined by someone else's gaze. The Greek philosopher Epictetus offered a timeless reminder. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. To know one's value, to be satisfied within one's own silent strength, is to be immune to the fleeting winds of others' approval. This truth permeates not only intimate relationships, but also family, friendships, and the world of work. The employee who craves constant affirmation from a manager becomes dependent and anxious, the subtle power of his silent dignity eroded. The friend who cannot say no for fear of losing connection is trapped in a silent contract, afraid to take up space, to stand alone when needed. Society weaves its own traps. Modern narratives insist that happiness lies just beyond the next gesture of approval, yet the more we chase validation, the more invisible we become. Hollywood tales speak of grand pursuits and desperate declarations. But in reality, those who endure, the respected friend, the admired colleague, the partner others cherish, are rarely those who plead or perform. Instead, they are the ones whose dignity speaks silently before they say a word. History gives us countless examples of self-realized individuals. Think of Abraham Lincoln, silent in personal grief, steady in his leadership, refusing to let public applause or criticism shake his resolve. Or Eleanor Roosevelt, who declared, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Both understood a vital posture: to serve, to love, to create, all while remaining anchored in silent self-respect. Relationships built on neediness are fragile. The partner who places another on a pedestal, whose happiness depends on a lover's attention, inevitably burdens the relationship. Love transforms from free choice into obligation. Freedom is lost, and so is respect. In Stoic philosophy, the truly wise cherish what is within their control, their effort, their character, their silent internal compass. The rest they accept with grace. Consider the parent who sacrifices every moment for a child, then quietly expects gratitude as repayment. The silent disappointment grows, yet goes unspoken, corroding the bond. Or friends whose loyalty is transactional, who disappear when admiration or usefulness dries up. These relationships sing loud in the beginning, but end in unsatisfying silence. True power, then, lies not in needing to be wanted, loved, or cheered, but in knowing your own silent, invulnerable worth. To offer love freely, never as currency for validation, is to cultivate relationships rooted in mutual respect rather than obligation. Seneca taught, "The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. To need less is to possess more freedom, more affection that is given, not begged for." As you reflect on the connections in your life, whether with a partner, a child, at work, or within yourself, ask not, "Do they see my worth?" but rather, "Do I carry my silent dignity into every exchange?" For when you know your value, you become a source of light, sought not for what you need, but for the silent peace and strength you bring. In such silent confidence, relationships flourish, respect grows, and the need to chase disappears, replaced by a bond built on authentic, enduring power. 2. Don't chase, prove, or please. There comes a time in every person's life when seeking approval drains the silent reservoir of their spirit. In relationships, particularly romantic ones, the impulse to chase, to prove oneself, or to tirelessly please can slowly erode one's core identity. The urge to be seen, validated, or desired feels universal, but Stoic wisdom teaches that the more desperately you seek another's approval, the farther you drift from your true self and the less desirable you become. Don't chase, prove, or please. This is not just advice for love, but a fundamental guideline for living. In the world of work, the employee who constantly seeks the boss's praise quickly becomes the overlooked one there. Silent desperation palpable during every meeting. Colleagues sense the anxiety, and respect quietly recedes. In family life, parents who go to great lengths to earn their children's affection or validation find themselves exhausted, misunderstood, and silently resentful when their efforts aren't reciprocated. Friendships, too, wither under the strain of perpetual one-sided giving, where authenticity is sacrificed for the faint hope of acceptance. This silent pattern repeats in romantic love. A man bombards his partner with gifts, attention, text messages. He bends his personality to fit her preferences. He becomes a master of self-denial to keep her satisfied. Paradoxically, each gesture makes him less magnetic and more invisible. Over time, attraction surrenders to suffocation. Marcus Aurelius, Rome's philosopher-emperor, warned, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Authenticity, complemented by silent strength, commands respect in all spheres of life. Celebrity culture offers telling examples. Hollywood overflows with stories of public figures who lose themselves in trying to please the crowd. Marilyn Monroe, celebrated, yet always seeking love and acceptance, became a symbol of both allure and silent suffering. Her life was a lesson in the hazards of external validation. No applause can replace inner peace. Contrast her story with that of Gary Cooper, reserved, unruffled, silent in his presence, steadfast in his values. It was not performance, but the power of poise, the refusal to chase the limelight that made his charm legendary. The Stoics knew this all too well. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The path to freedom, whether in love, work, or society, begins not with chasing others, but with quietly constructing your own foundation. Building yourself is an act of silent rebellion against the tide of people-pleasing. It is found in the discipline of morning routines, the courage to speak your truth even when it's unpopular, and the steadfast pursuit of personal growth. Here lies the secret magnetism that draws others in, the ability to remain unmoved by flattery or rejection. In today's society, the pressure to please is amplified by social media. One viral post, one flattering comment, and the world feels brighter. Yet, when the silent scroll brings criticism or indifference, spirits sag, confidence wanes. The Stoics invite us to detach from the judgment of the crowd, to anchor self-worth not in likes, but in lived values. Honesty, kindness, resilience, strong relationships, whether with a partner, friend, or colleague, not built upon a foundation of appeasement, but upon the silent integrity of two whole people who give because they choose to, not because they must. True partnership is a dance, not a pursuit. As author Ralph Waldo Emerson expressed it, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. So, do not chase, prove, or please. Stand silent in your conviction. Direct your energy inward. Read, learn, grow, be still in the storm. The silent confidence forged in solitude becomes your greatest source of strength and attraction. Step into the world each day not as a seeker of validation, but as a builder of character. The world, in the end, is drawn to those who stand not chasing the fullness of their being. That is where true power and silent respect are found. 3. Self-respect and discipline. Throughout history, self-respect and discipline have been the silent architecture beneath every life of substance. In a world loud with distractions, where expectations weigh down at home, in the workplace, and within the shifting tides of society, the unwavering core of a person is found in daily self-mastery. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, wrote Confucius, a truth that Marcus Aurelius echoed centuries later. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Yet, in our daily struggles, how often is this silent strength truly exercised? Consider the father who, despite long hours and mounting stress, chooses each morning to greet his day with a silent ritual, perhaps a run through a neighborhood still veiled in darkness, or 10 meditative minutes before the children stir. In these early, uncelebrated hours, he lays the foundation for composure despite the challenges to come. Or picture the mother who, caught between caring for aging parents and the relentless demands of work, carves out silent moments for learning an audiobook during her commute, a journal by her bedside. Her investment in personal growth, though silent and unseen, slowly transforms chaos into clarity. At the heart of every unwavering individual is the discipline to say, no, not just to temptations, but also to unnecessary obligations and the silent demands of others' opinions. In the office, the worker who prioritizes self-respect over pleasing those in power does not gossip, does not overpromise, nor does he trade his character for fleeting gains. His presence in the meeting room is silent yet formidable, his discipline recognized in the quality of his work, even if his words are few. In the realm of friendship, self-respect means drawing boundaries with care and silent strength. Friends who only appear in moments of celebration, who vanish during hardship, reveal their character. The one who remains quietly present, offering time and honesty rather than flattery, has cultivated the inner discipline to love himself enough to choose wisely whom he lets into his silent inner circle. True self-respect is not arrogance. It is the discipline of recognizing your own needs and dreams as worthy of pursuit. Eleanor Roosevelt's words ring true. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. When you value your mind, body, and spirit, that silent conviction replaces the need to prove your worth to others. The gym-goer who trains not for applause but for self-respect transforms quietly week by week, his progress felt in his confidence, his resolve, and the steady light he brings to those around him. Even in love, these principles stand firm. A partner who respects themselves brings a silent abundance to the relationship. They do not demand to be completed, nor do they offer affection as a bargaining chip. Instead, they inspire through example, supporting their loved one's growth as fiercely as their own. The relationship becomes a union of two cultivated, self-possessed souls, each flourishing, not shrinking, within the silent embrace of mutual respect. Across society, these silent builders, those who persist in their discipline, who refuse shortcuts, who demand the best from themselves, shape families, communities, and even nations. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us, Ralph Waldo Emerson wisely said. True respect and affection, whether from a spouse, a friend, or a colleague, are never begged for or bought. They flow naturally toward those whose silent self-mastery is evident in every action. To those listening now, invest quietly but relentlessly in your physical health, your emotional intelligence, and your curiosity for the world. Read, learn, rest, train, say no when needed, and honor your own boundaries. Each silent act of discipline, often overlooked by others, is a stone in the monument of your unshakable self-worth. And only then, when you stand tall in your own silent strength, will you find the respect and affection of others arriving not through pursuit, but as a worthy echo of your own enduring example. Thank you for staying with me on this journey of self-mastery and inner strength. If you truly wish to control your energy and stay calm amidst chaos, don't stop now. The next part will reveal how to nurture inner silence, even when life feels unpredictable. Stay tuned. Your journey to resilience is just beginning. 4. Leadership and boundaries. Leadership, at its core, is a silent foreseer, steady presence rather than a clamorous proclamation. In family, in the workplace, in communities both small and vast, the genuine leader needs not to shout his importance. His direction is felt in the choices he makes, the boundaries he sets, and the mission he upholds. In relationships, this principle cuts deeper. Women, just like men, are naturally drawn not to those who try to control or desperately seek approval, but to those who lead from a place of inner clarity and self-discipline. Picture a family during uncertain times, a household facing job loss or sudden change. The strongest figure is not the one barking orders or falling into silent despair, but the one who calmly states what must be done, listens deeply, and enforces necessary boundaries without wavering. In such houses, boundaries become a silent contract of respect. Parents who ensure children do not cross certain lines around dinner, around study, around respect, raise adults capable of self-control and empathy. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. To set boundaries is not to imprison, but to liberate. It's a gift you give both to yourself and to others. In the world of work, society quietly observes those who can say no to short-term temptations, who refuse to sacrifice their principles for fleeting praise. A leader, whether a CEO, a department head, or a team mentor, draws invisible lines that protect the company's values. Consider the integrity of Abraham Lincoln. In silent meetings, he listened more than he spoke, drawing upon a foundation of unshakable core beliefs before every decision. He did not lead by seeking to be liked, but by dedicating himself to a purpose larger than approval. It's no accident that the most respected leaders in business, like Warren Buffett or Indra Nooyi, are known not for appeasing everyone, but for being anchored in silent, mission-driven certainty. In the realm of love and friendship, leadership paired with boundaries creates lasting respect. A relationship flourishes not when one partner makes endless sacrifice or aims to please at all costs, but when both are clear about their limits, their values, and their non-negotiables. A partner who states, "I will not tolerate dishonesty," or "my personal time is sacred," does not repel affection. They deepen it, inviting admiration instead of dependency. As Brené Brown wrote, "Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others." Society offers stories of celebrities who lost themselves through the absence of boundary, swept up in fame, approval, and fleeting pleasures. Britney Spears, surrounded by yes-men and locked in a public struggle over autonomy, shows the high personal cost when boundaries are never learned or respected. By contrast, Oprah Winfrey rose above a difficult past, quietly drawing lines that respected her well-being and mission. Her silent leadership fostered empires not through domination, but through principle and integrity. Ultimately, leadership is about direction, not control. Every day, in small silent choices, you either reaffirm your values or surrender them for comfort or praise. Whether you shepherd a family, manage a team, or nurture a partnership, your authority rests not on chasing approval but quietly holding to your mission. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." True leadership requires boundaries, lines drawn not out of cruelty or pride, but out of a silent respect for oneself and others. Through this clarity, you inspire those around you, partner, child, colleague, or friend, to rise, to respect, and to follow not because you demanded it, but because you lived it. In this silent clarity, direction outlasts chaos, and genuine connection is forged in the space between independence and togetherness. 5. Hold your frame. In life's turbulent theater, holding your frame is not merely a concept, it is your silent shield, your axis of authenticity amidst the shifting expectations of family, work, and love. To hold your frame means to ground yourself so deeply in your core values that no storm, no criticism, and no fleeting approval can sway you. It calls for you to speak less and act more, allowing your silent presence to declare to the world who you are. Across every domain, the relentless pressure to conform and to seek approval is a daily test. In the workplace, you may watch colleagues sacrifice their integrity for advancement, compromising standards for the approval of superiors, the murmurs of gossip, or a brief pat on the back. The one who holds his frame is different. He upholds his code, perhaps declining to participate in office politics, sometimes standing alone. As Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." The silent clarity of purpose makes a person magnetic, even to those who may never comprehend his conviction. Within families, subtle negotiations try to bend your frame. Parents guilt their adult children, partners try to override dreams, children test boundaries. Authenticity demands that you set limits and maintain them, even when the emotional currents threaten to pull you away from your silent center. These moments are difficult, but they forge respect. As Viktor Frankl reflected in his time of suffering, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. The silent act of unwavering adherence to your frame inspires those around you, even when they resist in the moment. Relationships flourish when both partners stand rooted in self-respect. When you never compromise your values for the sake of approval, affection, or fleeting comfort, you become a beacon of strength. Martin Luther King Jr.'s words resonate. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. This silent stance of acting with purpose, rather than defending every move, communicates more than words ever could. In friendship, The person who does not gossip behind closed doors or abandon principles for popularity is not always the most popular, but is always the most respected. Their silent consistency builds a reputation that cannot be purchased or fabricated. Over time, even the most critical onlookers yield to the weight of that integrity, drawing closer to seek silent counsel, to learn by example. In society, it is the silent revolutionaries, people like Rosa Parks, whose quiet defiance changed a nation, or Steve Jobs, whose obsessive adherence to his creative vision overturned entire industries, who hold their frame against impossible odds. Their strengths are not always boisterous. More often they emanate a silent, unwavering presence. Speak only if it improves upon the silence, advised Mahatma Gandhi. There is a power in measured speech and consistent action, a confidence that needs no validation. Daily life offers endless opportunities to exercise this discipline. Holding your frame might mean declining an invitation that conflicts with your priorities, defending a friend against injustice at personal risk, turning down easy money when the offer undermines your values. Each silent choice reinforces your frame, shaping you into a person who leads, inspires, and is quietly admired. To all who hear this, never compromise your core. Let your silent resolve and quiet acts proclaim your strength. For in the end, approval fades, trends shift, but the legacy of your example, silent, solid, unyielding, endures. That is the true power of holding your frame. 6. Live with purpose. Living with purpose is the silent engine that propels a meaningful life. In a society saturated with noisier world, where every platform urges you to win approval, to flaunt your achievements, and to measure your worth by the reactions of others, the Stoic path is countercultural. It teaches that true happiness and success are not the rewards for those most skilled at pleasing the crowd. Rather, these gifts belong to those who anchor themselves in purpose and master their inner world. Seneca's wisdom cuts through the confusion. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Consider the man who, regardless of his profession, wakes each morning with clarity rather than chaos. Whether his day is filled with family obligations, demanding colleagues, or friends in need, he does not chase applause. Instead, he quietly, even silently, pursues his goals, measuring success not by recognition but by progress on his personal mission, raising honest children, doing work of value, loving well. Nancy, a nurse working night shifts, chooses to serve not to be admired, but because caregiving speaks to the deepest part of who she is. Her silent dedication, untouched by outside praise, leaves ripples of kindness long after her work is done. Purpose is tested most during conflict and loss. In these moments, those driven by validation falter, swept away by criticism or rejection. In contrast, the purposeful individual stands unshakable. They draw upon an internal compass, unaffected by the tides of popularity or approval. Viktor Frankl, who survived the silent horrors of the Holocaust, observed, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. Purpose is what allows a father to provide stability in turbulent times, a friend to defend what is right, even when others remain silent, or a leader to pursue difficult decisions when all would rather play it safe." Relationships flourish most when both partners are aligned by values, not by a restless need to complete one another. When you live with purpose, you attract companions, friends, lovers, mentors who are inspired by the silent conviction you display. They are drawn not to your neediness, but to your self-knowledge. In the realm of celebrity, figures like Paul Newman or Maya Angelou were respected not for their efforts at winning the masses, but for the integrity and craft they pursued quietly, steadfastly, purposefully. Their legacies endure, sculpted by countless silent choices, not by momentary approval. Success built on purpose is never accidental. It is forged in daily acts of discipline, writing for an hour before the world wakes, advocating for truth in silent boardrooms, or offering forgiveness when family conflict runs deep. Purpose brings a resolve that cannot be shaken by rumors, setbacks, or applause. As Ralph Waldo Emerson declared, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." Applying Stoic philosophy in a chaotic world means stepping off the treadmill of performance and reclaiming your agency. Master yourself, resist the need to convince others of your worth, and you will naturally become unshakable like a tree whose roots whisper silent strength beneath the earth, invisible but unmovable. In this way, the right people and opportunities flow toward you, not as rewards for self-betrayal, but as recognition of silent mastery. To all listening, be relentless in living with purpose. Let your actions stem from conviction, not the silent demands of others' expectations. In mastering yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you call forth happiness and success from the quiet depths within. Let that silent, purposeful energy shape your days, and everything else will follow in its wake. As we come to the end of this journey, remember, true power is not about controlling others, but mastering yourself. Every lesson we've shared today, from building silent confidence to living with purpose, reminds us that the path to meaningful relationships and lasting respect always begins within. In a noisy world, those who cultivate inner strength, calm, and resilience naturally attract the right people and opportunities. My advice to you: keep practicing these principles daily. Focus on self-growth, set clear boundaries, and never lose sight of your values. Let your actions speak louder than words, and let your character be the silent proof of your strength. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others on the same path. Join our community to continue your journey towards self-mastery and powerful connections. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.